Hi friends, it's Sophie. Welcome to your nightly wind down yoga practice. For this practice, you might need a blanket or a pillow. It's up to you. If you have one of those things, go ahead and grab one now and make sure it's nearby. It might come in handy. And we're going to start in a seated position, cross-legged. And so if when you come into a cross-legged position, your knees are lifted or you're kind of rounded forward a little bit in your spine and it's uncomfortable, definitely sit on a blanket or a pillow. You can fold up the blanket so it has a little bit of height, and I'll show you from the side what that looks like when you sit on it. You want to make sure you're sitting on the edge of it, and what that's going to do is it's going to lengthen the spine and help guide your pelvis forwards a little bit. So once you're there in a seat, close your eyes. Let your hands just rest gently on your knees or your thighs. You did it. You made it. You arrived on your mat after whatever you did today. And really the hardest part is arriving, so congratulate yourself for doing that. And you've committed to the practice. Now, let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And out of your mouth, exhale to let go of your day. Gently and slowly pull in with the inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, a release, a sense of relief. Inhale through the nose, sip in the air. And all the way out, exhale. Feel the skin on the neck soften and relax. Gently bring your chin down to your chest, and you can keep your eyes closed or open them, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy that stretch evenly through both sides of the back of the neck. And then tilt your head over to the right and also down. So the chin's still down, and then you're tilting your head to the right. And oftentimes during the day, we have a buildup of tension in the neck for a lot of us, usually on one side. And the best way to really avoid any knots or kinks in your neck is to make sure you're stretching the neck regularly. Bring your chin back down to your chest and tilt your head to the left. And managing your stress regularly is a really great way to get rid of unwanted pain in the body. You'll notice that pain usually comes up during times of stress. Bring your chin gently back down to your chest. Pause for a moment, and then bring your head up. Go ahead and reach your arms up. Inhale. And on exhale, cactus your arms. Make sure you're not back bending, that you're keeping your rib cage inwards and you're squeezing the shoulders back. On your next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, cactus. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, cactus. I love this one. One more time, inhale. Exhale, reach it down. Make sure your elbows aren't going too low. They're staying 90. And then inhale, reach the arms up, release your arms down by your sides. Keep your right hand on the ground. Take your left arm up and over for a nice side bending stretch. So you're bending into the left side body is where you're feeling the stretch. Then reach your arms back up, inhale, exhale, side bend to the left. The side body is usually the area where we neglect in our daily actions. So it's so good to get into that right away in your wind down nightly routine. Reach your arms up, inhale. Exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Then bring the hands behind you, fingertips behind you, and just open up the chest. Another thing we tend to do during the day is round forward. So let's counteract that. The head can go back a little bit. Good. Good, and then let's rise back up and pause. Okay, we're gonna transition onto the knees. If you have a hard surface like me, maybe you put a blanket down underneath your knees. You know, this practice is meant to be soothing and relaxing, and so we want to make that as comfortable as we can for ourselves. It really makes a difference. So do what you need to do, and then come onto your hands and knees. And on your inhale, take cow pose. So melt your chest down, tilt your pelvis forward, and pull the shoulders back. And on your exhale, round your spine. Make sure you're involving the neck. Round the spine, push away from the ground. Inhale, open up. Arch your back, cow. Exhale, round your spine. One more time. Inhale, open up. And exhale, round. And come back to neutral. Step your right foot between your hands. So we're coming into a lunge here. Right foot between the hands. And reach your arms up. And on your exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And inhale, straighten out your, don't straighten out your leg, but just like lift up and out of it. And exhale, shift all the way forward. Inhale, lift up and out. Exhale, go forward into your lunge. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, lunge. Good. Make sure you're drawing the low ribs in a little bit. And then reach your arms up again, inhale. On exhale, bring your hands down to the ground to frame your foot. And walk your foot out to the right so you're in lizard. And slide your knee back as far as you can so you're in a nice, good, deep lizard lunge. Then take your right arm up, inhale. And stay on your exhale, plug the left shoulder back. Take another inhale. And on exhale, put your hands down and then stay here in lizard or put your forearms down in lizard. If you have blocks, you could put your forearms on blocks. But we're not here to like push it. We're not here to find the deepest edge. We're trying to just feel good in the body. So go where you can breathe, still breathe comfortably and feel good about your body in this moment. Good, take one more breath. Come back up onto your hands. Now your hands are inside of your right leg. Straighten out your right leg into sort of like a half split, but your leg is out to the right a little bit. And then inhale, bend your right knee. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Inhale, bend your right knee. Exhale, straighten. And then turn to frame your foot with your hands. So now you're turn to the right side of the mat. And you can stay here and fold, or you can bring your hands to the outer edge of the right leg if you need a little bit more. Keep your spine nice and long. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Then bring your hands back to frame your foot. And bring your hands back inside of your foot, bend your knee, and then just step back to, not plank, but hands and knees into tabletop position. Good. Now step your left foot between your hands. Lunge, and we rise up, reach your arms up. And bring your hands to your heart. And with your hands, sorry guys, I'm having a little bit of a mic issue. Okay, all fixed. With your hands at your heart, lift up and out of it. And then go forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Again, one more. Inhale. Exhale, forward. So you're feeling the stretch in the front of the right hip, the hip flexors. Draw the low ribs in. Reach your arms up again. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. And then put your hands inside of your left foot. So slide your left foot to the left for a lizard. And then slide your back leg back a little bit. Untuck the toes. And then take your left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, put your hand back down. Either stay here or put your forearms down on the ground. And for today, you can let your head hang. You don't have to worry about lengthening through the neck. And just let that go so you can get rid of any tension there. One more breath. Rise back up onto your hands. Come up onto your fingertips. Inhale and exhale, straighten your left leg. Your hips go back. The foot is flexed. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten the left leg. Inhale, bend your knee. Exhale, straighten the leg. Frame your left foot with your hands. Lengthen your spine and fold over your left leg. And bring your hands over to the left side of the left leg and lengthen. And you can either stay with your hands framing your foot, or maybe your hands are over to the left for one more breath. Now bring your hands inside of your left leg, come back into a lizard lunge, and then step back into tabletop. Nice. Good. Okay, tuck your toes and lift your knees and hips for downward facing dog. You can start to pedal it out a little bit. Just passing through down dog briefly here. Find stillness in your down dog and lift your hips high. Inhale. Exhale, set your knees back down to the ground. Good. If you want to move your blanket out of the way, you can. We're doing child's pose. So knees wide, feet together. Walk your hands down and put your forehead on the ground. Then start to wiggle your forehead a little bit side to side on the mat, like you're massaging your forehead. Just really slow, gentle rocks. And this is really soothing to the body. We're signaling to the body and to the mind that it's time to slow down. We're signaling to the nervous system that it's time to slow down. Now walk your hands over to the left side and place the right hand on top of your left hand. And breathe. And then walk your hands back to center and over to the right side and place your left hand on top of your right hand and fold. So you're stretching through the left side body. Walk your hands back to center and slowly come up into tabletop. And then tuck your toes and sit back on your heels. So stretching out the toes. And if you've been in shoes all day, then this probably feels really good to give the toes some space. If this is too much for you, you can keep your hands down on the ground. If you're upright, feel free to reach those arms up. And grab onto your elbows or maybe your wrists or forearms. Just creating some space in the upper back. In the arms. Inhale. Exhale. Let's all meet back down in tabletop. Good. Go ahead and step your right foot between your hands again. So we're back into this lunge and come upright. Bring your hands onto your front thigh. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Let's twist to the right. So if your back knee is uncomfortable on the ground, please put a blanket underneath. But you're pressing the hands together. You're spreading the toes on the right foot. Notice if they're all curled up. Spread them. And lift away from the ground as you twist to the right. Good. And then return back to center. Hands to the heart. Bring your hands down to the ground now. Lift your back knee and step your back foot in and turn the toes out to the left for pyramid. So you want your feet to be not on a tightrope. So they have their own lanes on the mat. Both legs are straight. Blocks can come in handy here if you have them. Inhale. And exhale, fold, or maybe you just stay here trying to breathe through the hamstring stretch. You don't have to fold into it anymore. Perhaps you walk the fingertips forward a little bit more. Great. And then walk the hands back, step back into lunge. And put the knee down and take the right knee back and go ahead and step your left foot forward. And let's come upright, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, twist to your left. So hook your right elbow over the left knee, press the elbow down, and lift away from the ground. Spread the toes on the left foot. Plug the left shoulder back. And then come back to center, hands to your heart, and bring your hands down to the ground. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and straighten the left leg. Step your back foot closer to your left foot, or closer to the front of the mat, and then turn the toes out at like a 45-degree angle to the right. And lengthen and square the hips forward. So you're not, if your left hip is bumping over to the left, kind of draw it back to center. Bring it back to center. And either stay here or you start to fold forward. Or you start to crawl the fingertips forward. You have to figure out what feels good in your body. One more breath. And step back into lunge. Put the knee down and step your left foot back. Good. From here, let's sit down and swing the legs out around. And we're going to take the legs wide. So again, if sitting down causes you to round your spine, then put the blanket underneath your seat and take the legs wide. Flex your feet. Doesn't matter what this looks like to you, just doing your best with the legs long and you're sitting tall. And maybe you stay here if that feels good. If you're able to keep your spine long from the lower part of your back as you go forward, then you can go forward. But if you found that you're rounding and trying to reach, then that's no good for the back. So you'll stay upright, and that's much better for you. And if you're going forward, you can put the palms down, maybe you put the forearms down. Just let your head drop, maybe soften your eyes or close the eyes. The feet are flexed. Find where it feels good for you and stay there for 3 more breaths. And slowly walk your hands back up. Come on, upright. Now take your legs straight out in front of you and sit tall. So I'm just turning this way so I'm on my mat. But you sit tall and then bend your knees a little bit. Feet flexed. Good. And then crawl your hands forward. Don't worry about straightening the legs out. You can grab onto your ankles, maybe grab onto your outer edges of your feet. Just let your body drape over your legs. Now, if you want, then if it feels good, then you can start to maybe straighten the legs out a little more. But they shouldn't be all the way straight and locked out. You know, they should always have maybe a little bit of a bend in them. And just let your upper body spill over the lower body. Maybe even rock. I like to rock a little side to side here. I think because rocking is really soothing. As when we're babies, we like to be rocked. It's comforting. It's familiar. And then we'll very slowly, very, very slowly start to slide up. And then you come all the way up. Then go ahead and lay back down onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. Hug them in. I have to move my microphone out so it's not underneath of me, but you're hugging your knees in and you're rocking side to side. Good. And then take your knees wide and again rock side to side here and just feel the hips opening up a bit there. Should feel really good. Feel the lower back pressing into the ground. And then take your knees back in, take your arms out to a cactus shape and bring your knees over to the left side, all the way over, so that your right shoulder can drop down to the right side. Just gently enjoy that stretch through the spine. You might feel it in your right hip. You might feel it in the lower back. You might feel it in the right shoulder. It's different for everyone, depending on where you are a little tighter in the body. And bring the knees back up to center and drop them over to the right side. Let your left shoulder drop down to the ground. Bend the left elbow a little bit. You'll get a better stretch in your pectoral muscles. If the left elbow is bent into like a cactus position. And bring the knees back up to center. Good. Place your feet down onto the ground. Good. Arms down by your sides. And then lift your hips up for bridge, just for a moment here. Feel that strength through the back body. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Now bring the feet together and the knees wide. And put your hands right on your belly. And I want you to feel your breath as you inhale. The belly fills, the diaphragm fills with air. And as you exhale, the navel goes back down towards the ground. Soften. Continue to breathe like that. Feeling a sense of being grounded, being connected to yourself. That's what this practice is all about. It's about connecting, coming back to ourselves. Coming back to the true nature of who we really are when we're not stuck in our minds or stuck in the hustle of the day. Go ahead and gently bring the knees up and extend your legs long and bring your arms down by your sides for Savasana. And bring your awareness to the nostrils and notice the air as it pulls in through the nostrils and goes all the way up past the bridge of the nose into the midbrain. And as you exhale, the breath goes back down and out the nostrils all the way. So it's like with your mind, you're tracing and following the pattern of the breath as it moves through the nose. All the way to the midbrain and back out. Let go of that pattern, the shaping of the breath. Just let your breath be natural now. Not paying attention to anything in particular, but just being absorbed into awareness, into presence. Now you have the option to remain for another 10 minutes here with the music. You can just enjoy Savasana, and I highly recommend staying longer if you're able to, because sometimes it takes a while to settle into presence, into the body, into the mind. It takes a while to get the mind out of the way, or the thinking out of the way. So give yourself that time, but if you need to move on with your night, you can begin to bring movement into the fingers and toes. And you can really slowly and gently roll over to one side and gently rise up to a seat. Sit tall as you bring yourself back. And bring your hands together at your heart. And thank yourself for showing up to your practice. Namaste.